Well, one gender activist says that abuse against men is an issue that needs to be addressed. Mbuyiselo Botha claims that society's denial that men are being abused may be one of the reasons for the whirlwind of violence. His statements follow the recent scourge of violence against women and children. To discuss this further, we're joined by gender activist Mbuyiselo Botha. Good evening, Mr. Botha. Thanks very much for your time. Tell us why you felt you needed to bring up this issue this week.
Well, good evening and good evening to your listeners. It's unfortunate that normally I write my pieces for the Sowetan a week before they're published. So like I submitted this to the editor on as early as Friday. So I do this weekly. So it had nothing to do with it's the weekly column I write, which I call Gender Indaba in the Sowetan. So unfortunately, it coincided with what has been happening with, Babus Dumo and his partner, Lava.
At the heart of your piece, of course, you believe is an issue. You're arguing that there is this issue that, as you call it, is the elephant in the room, our either refusal, or simply a tendency to actually not confront what you believe is one of the main issues that have led to the society that we are seeing now, and that is men abuse.
Yes, Vuyo. I think, Vuyo, one has got to make the point that I was actually one of those people who would always argue that let's not bring violence against men now as an issue, because what it does is it removes attention from what statistics tell us, from those that are in the majority are violated and are women. So, but having have said that, Vuyo, I don't think that without discussing it, it will go away. By the way, I am arguing in that piece that unless we confront, how boys are raised, how we actually are saying to men every day, man up, be real men. Violence against men by other men or violence against men by women, that's very important for us, Vuyo, to discuss and to deal with. By the way, I don't think that I agree with what the leader of the DA, or Musi Maimane, had said yesterday or on Monday when he was at the Union Building. Vuyo, he was actually saying that, Mapumulo must come to the ring. I know that violence begets violence. I don't think it's proper for us to propagate when a man has beaten the partner or beaten another man, then we say, well, come, let's, show you or give you a medicine. Let's beat you up. I think that those that are hurt, they tend to hurt others, Vuyo.
In fact, the first part of your answer is what made a lot of people to sit up and notice, and actually that's what drew a lot of people's attention to your piece. It's precisely because in the past, you are the one who has argued that perhaps this is not an issue we should deal with for the reasons you have so well articulated, which then brings me back to that question. Why did you break your own code this time around?
I think, Vuyo, I broke my code because I'm mindful of the fact of, in the work that I've been doing lately in different communities, it's coming up. Men are saying, look, it could be a reaction. It could be that there's a perception that we're not being listened to, we're not being given attention. And I think that all violence must be condemned. And I'm breaking this code, Vuyo, precisely because I think we must be at this stage as a country, begin to talk about how we allow and normalize when men are violated or men violate other men, Vuyo. Because it can't be okay to continuously say that boys will be boys, men will be men. It can't be okay, because what we are doing, we are actually, in fact, we are perpetuating the notion that it's okay when boys beat other boys. It's okay when men beat other men. And what that happened, or what that what it does for you is that it then translates where you don't even think twice when you're confronted with difficulties with your female partner, because it's okay, it's normalized.
But then as much as you are calling on all of us to actually debate this and talk about it as often as you can, we still need to strike the balance. We still need to make sure that we do not now suddenly find this particular issue as being the new and main side of the struggle against gender. I mean,
no, we shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that, because then, Vuyo, what we'll in fact do is, as I previously argued, and I'll still argue, we'll then muddy the water. Because statistics, Vuyo, tell us that it is in fact women in the main who are violated. But there's also a trend now where a lot of men are arguing that, look, you all know about our statistics because we are dissuaded, discouraged from reporting violence. You are laughed at, you are mocked, you are ridiculed, you are a joke. I mean, a lot of men tell me that, look, I can't go to the police station, I can't go to a social worker, I can't go to a psychologist for fear that I don't want to be looked or spoken to as being less of a man. So it's precisely those narratives, Vuyo, that all of us must begin to change. If we are to change men's mindset, we must allow them to say, look, I am hurting, I am vulnerable, I need help. Probably men do what they do because there is no outlet. We are a society that has not created an environment conducive for men to come out and say, look, I need help, I'm at my wit's end, I don't have answers.
Mr. Botha, thank you very much for your time this evening. Gender activist Mbuyiselo Botha, woman abuse is something we should still focus on, but he is also urging that domestic violence perpetrated against men is something as uncomfortable perhaps as it is, but it's something we should be talking about.